It was in 1999 that we had our first World Jewish National Fund meeting here in Phoenix. We had 100 people. We really had 50. The other people, I was wondering why they were dressed the way they were. Russell had gone in to the dining room. He had gone into the parking lot. And we had 50 people from the hotel. The only thing they didn't do was dress like people. They dressed like where they were. Now, this is amazing. It was 1999, only 19 years ago. Russell, by the way, was 155 pounds. Two people had to carry him up. One more thing. I was supposed to be this evening in Moscow. I did a wonderful job of double booking. I announced to the people in Moscow they had to do it on Sunday because I couldn't make it. They said, what are we going to do with 1,200 people? I said, there are 1,300 people coming to Phoenix. So the minute I leave here, I start flying. Somewhere I'll miss Shabbat. But frankly, I can think of no better place to be than here because of what it means to me. And Jewish National Fund is part of my heart. And I must tell you, there's no place I would like to be more than here. I thank you, Sam, for those nice words. And my congratulations to Andy Klein. Andy, in many ways, represents everyone here in his commitment, his energy, and his caring for Israel's future. Today, I plan to give you a tour of the Jewish world that I've seen in my travels as president of the World Jewish Congress. I certainly have to tell you about trees, water, and all the important things that JNF does every day. You already know that. Instead, I want to focus my thoughts on the Jewish community here in America. Russell told me to be upbeat. It's very, very hard to be upbeat in the world today. But I believe we can be upbeat with everything we have in America right now and the role we play in the world. So, I'll follow Russell's advice. I'll give you upbeat. But I'm going to add a strong dose of reality about what's happening in Europe. Last month, in the city of Chemnitz, Germany, we saw something we never thought we would see again in our lifetimes. Neo-Nazis marching through the streets of Chemnitz, screaming anti-Jewish taunts with raised arms in the Nazi salute. That ought to put a chill through every Jewish heart. Nazis in Germany? What made it even worse was that the police stood still and did nothing because they weren't told how to handle it. That's completely unacceptable. That's the kind of anti-Semitism we are seeing throughout Europe, coming from the far right. We can call that the old-fashioned anti-Semitism, although it's very alarming because it reminds us of the darkest times of our history, and it's always a threat. But there's another form of anti-Semitism that's even more dangerous today because it's larger, stronger, and it's coming from the highest levels of government throughout Europe. It's the vicious anti-Semitism that disguises itself not as anti-Jewish, but as anti-Israel or anti-Zionist. And it's now accepted without comment. This is coming from the far right and now from the far left as well. We hear it in the UN. Where's Danny? Am I agreeing? We see it in the media, and even more frightening, we're beginning to see it on the American political scene. We saw this first 2 years ago. Now I'm in rough waters. In the Bernie Sanders campaign against Hillary Clinton. Sanders started a political movement that became fertile ground for the anti-Israeli left. We happen to agree with many of his principles. Who wants everyone to have more health care, more than the Jews? But now, many candidates on the left decide they can get more votes being pro-Palestinian than pro-Israel. What they've learned from the Bernie Sanders campaign is that people are most prone to this message. The people who are most prone are the college students. And that's why they are targeting college campuses. This new anti-Semitism from the left intimidates. Just ask your children or your grandchildren who walk past apartheid signs constructed on the walls of campuses and hear taunts from other students or even professors. I want at least 2 proactive Israeli activists on every major campus to monitor what's going on and to teach Jewish students how to fight back. Why on earth should we allow this to go unchallenged? This may not be upbeat, but it's part of our world in the 21st century. And we see it every single day, from Fresno State to New York City. But here's the most important part of the story, and the most upbeat. We are not impotent. We are not weak. And we will fight this with everything we have in our arsenal. And believe me, we have a very rich toolbox. Here is something I've seen on my travels that should put some steel in your spine. I have watched the children of Eastern Europe walking down the streets wearing their yarmulkes. And let me tell you, these are students that don't normally wear yarmulkes, but they wanted to show that they're not afraid, but they wear it with pride. I've seen mothers send their children off to Jewish schools without fear, but again, with a special solemn pride. I've also seen throughout Israel, even parts of our country here, people get it. They understand the gift we were given at birth. They cherish their Jewish heritage, and they are passing it on to their children. In Israel, I've seen mothers and fathers send their sons and daughters into the most dangerous places in the Middle East to protect the Jewish state because Israel is worth protecting. That's courage, unbelievable courage. Israel's our gift from God. And when you get a gift from God, you don't say, no thanks. You cherish it, you protect it, you defend it. Now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to stand up and be heard. And I'm sorry to say, we don't have a great record. Back in the 1930s and 40s, the Jewish community in the United States faced a State Department that was blatantly anti-Semitic. This country could have brought in thousands of Jewish children and saved their lives, but most Jewish Americans said nothing. We didn't want to make waves. Didn't want to make waves? We went along with this courage, this outrage, and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of Jews died because of that silence. That silence ends now. We will never be silent again. America is still the beacon of hope to the world. America is still the strongest country on earth. And America still inspires the entire world. And we have a special responsibility. We can never be silent when it comes to defending Israel and the Jewish people everywhere. How will each one of you meet this challenge? I want to start at the simplest level. When you're at a dinner party and you hear someone taking a dishonest swipe against Israel, call them on it, learn the facts, and don't just listen in silence. Tell them it's a lie and it's unacceptable. Don't be afraid of making waves. If you're not invited back, so what? I'll buy you a dinner. Don't be afraid to say something. When you hear about professors calling out Israeli or Jewish students, write to the president of the college. If you're an alum, hold up your donations. Trust me, that will get their attention. You are not impudent. If you read something in your local newspaper that is a lie about Israel, write to the editor or call the editor directly. Also threaten them. Newspapers are not in the position of power that they were 30 years ago. They have lost their advertising dollars. They are weaker, and they are now more inclined to listen. Also, hold your politicians accountable as well. Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. Don't quote me. But if someone says something false about Israel, call them out. Russell and I had a conversation about this before, but we won't mention it. You'll tell them, Russell, later. The two strongest organizations we have to protect us are the World Jewish Congress and the JNF. The World Jewish Congress is fighting these battles throughout the world. And believe it or not, we are winning. But we are not equipped to do this in America. That's where the JNF comes in. The JNF is fighting the battle right here. No other organization has the international clout as the World Jewish Congress. And no other organization has more clout in Israel and here in America than JNF. Together, the World Jewish Congress and the JNF have a powerful reach and a strong punch. We are not the timid Jews of the 1930s. We are not one of those timid Jews. You wouldn't be here if you were. We need you to back us up. We don't have an IDF, but we have millions of strong, committed Jewish Americans, and we need each one of you to be part of this citizen army. If you want to contact us when you see something that is unacceptable, please do. I want to say it's very, very important. I don't care if you're on the left or the right. I don't care if you're voting for Democrats or Republicans. I don't care if you're Orthodox or agnostic. I don't even care if you're rooting for the Red Sox or the Dodgers. What I care about is that we speak in one unified voice. And we say this, we believe that the state of Israel has an absolute right to exist in peace, that Jews, no matter where they live, have the right to pray in a synagogue or walk down a street without fear, and no one, absolutely no one, has the right to denigrate us, to make up lies about us, or threaten us, or our children. These are absolutes. They are not negotiable. On this, we will speak as one united people, always. If an 18 and 19-year-old Jewish soldiers can put their lives on the line every single day to defend the Jewish state, we can certainly do our part to defend it. And there are people in this room today on the front lines of the age-old battle. As you already heard, we have over 250 college and high school students here at our JNF conference. Some of you have had to confront these lies, and good for you for standing up for Israel. Our Jewish National Fund futures, our 25 to 40-year-olds, are also here at the conference. You are present and our future leaders. You want to see our future? Here it is, right in front of your eyes. Remember, with success, with money, comes responsibility. The Torah gives us guidance. We watch out for our fellow Jews. We help in whatever we can. The world has given us problems from the very start, and the Jewish people have met every single challenge, from Egypt to Greece to Rome, from medieval Europe to Nazi Germany, from every war Israel has fought since 1948. The Jewish people have met every challenge with brains, with our chutzpah, and with God's help. We will meet whatever comes next. I know this in my bones. We are strong, we are united. Yes, even with all our differences, we will do this because our children's future depends on it. We did not wait 2,000 years as a people for homeland, only to lose it to lies and hate and anti-Semitism. It's our responsibility, and we will fully embrace it. And we will not fail. God bless, and let us all be heard. God bless you. If you want some inspiration, I have this video that many of you have seen, a few of them at the lunch you just came from, about my schools in Eastern Europe. I want you this time to look at their faces, feel their pride. And this is how we win, because we teach every student in my schools. And right now we have graduated just shy of 40,000 children from my schools. I can say they're all great Hebrew speakers. They all speak English well. But we teach them from kindergarten on the pride of being Jewish. And you hear this pride, you see this pride in their faces. I'd like you now to look at this again. I know you've seen it many times. But again, look at the faces of the children. These are children who live in a world unlike the United States, where every day they're confronted with things. And I must tell you, I've seen children, spoken to them, who've been beat up. I say, you okay? He said, I'm okay. You should see the other kids I beat up. They have their pride. And again, they carry yarmulkes, and when they see difficult people, they put the yarmulkes on. Very different from every place else. I don't recommend this for everybody, but I will tell you that we have to have our schools teaching kids, Jewish schools teaching kids to have pride, and that's critical. My next project after World Jewish Congress, I would like to see 500 more Jewish schools in the United States, that every Jewish kid can go to a Jewish school and have it with pride. And now, again, I'm so proud of these kids. Look at this picture, and many have seen it before, but look at their faces of these kids, the pride they have in being Jewish. God bless you all.